Turtlemint used gamification to increase the transaction in their platform by 15%. And so Turtlemint is a platform which helps insurance agents sell more insurance policies to their customer. Okay. Now, what they did was when they came to us, they wanted their mobile adoption rate was very low. So what they did was they wanted to gamify the whole experience here. And so gamification, they initially started with simple weekly quizzes, wherein something like Monday Malamal, they started on a weekly basis, wherein it will run for 2 hours on a Monday. And during those 2 hours, you have to come and participate in the quiz, fastest finger first format quiz. And if you rank in the top 20, you get some rewards activity in the form of activity points, which is their loyalty program points. Now, that was the initial engagement that we had with them. They saw really good traction in terms of users coming back into their platform and exploring the mobile app. Essentially, the mobile, they have both a mobile app as well as a website wherein insurance agents can log in, create leads as in, let's say I am an insurance agent, I can add a lead of my, a potential who can buy insurance through me for a particular policy, right? So that's what their platform does, wherein you can create lead, you can manage the complete life cycle of the lead. And the purchase, you can also purchase the policy for your customers through their platform. So it's a a B2B2C model out there. Now with this one, earlier there were sales agents reaching out, Turtlemint sales agents reaching out to these partners, agent partners, to help them sell more. But there was no technology at play. They created this mobile app, but then still people were transacting offline. Hence, they wanted more and more customers. Their DAU numbers were very low when it compared to before they started using gamification. With this Malamal quiz, what happened was people started coming to the app on a or let's say on a Monday from 6 to 9. They explored. They realized it has a lot of value in it. They started adding leads. They started sharing content from the application. All of that translated into some sort of transaction, but nothing was being measured. Then Turtlemint got really serious into gamification. They got a different chapter, a growth chapter focused on gamification. They had built that team, in-house team who will focus on gamification. We worked very closely. That's when during IPL they came up with a campaign called Turtlemint T20 Dhamal campaign, right? Wherein this was very similar to Google Pay. Google Pay. What is that stamp collection campaign, wherein you had to collect rangoli, you had to collect diya stamp, all of that. You guys might know how it turned out for Google Pay. People went crazy about the rare stamp, which was rangoli. There were a lot of memes that got created on Twitter and YouTube. People started going crazy about the rangoli stamp. Similar to that these guys created this campaign in which you had to collect stamps of various teams. First, they actually went a level further. They created it as a 3-level game. You create helmets, then you create team jerseys, then you create captains out there. Now that today at this stage, MS Dhoni is the brand ambassador for that campaign. Their brand ambassador is Mahendra Singh Dhoni, but they promote this campaign via MS Dhoni. So in the first leg of this campaign, what happened? They ran it. Overall participation was very huge, but then final reward that went into people who collected all the artifacts or stamps were very probably 10% of them. But what they realized later on, and people who completed all the 3 levels of the game, let's say first level, the reward was very minimal, 100 rupees in terms of activity points. But the participation was very good. And in that, how to collect stamps, the activities that they had defined to collect the stamps were, very easier to do activities like sharing the content, creating a lead, which does not require any money into picture. They did not have to spend, the agent did not have to spend something out there. So you see the motivation or the tendency to complete that behavior, or the motivation to complete that behavior was very high. Hence, what happened? These guys, the agents started participating and collecting the stamps out of almost more than I think 10-15% of the users actually collected all the stamps, and out of that people who have collected the first level, approximately 15% or 10% or so reached to level 3. But then even then level 3, in the sense the reward was much higher, 1000 rupees or so. Hence very few people could reach that. They also had a budget in mind. They restricted the you could configure that using our product, wherein what percentage of users actually get that particular stamp. So very few, it was very rare. Hence the excitement about the campaign. You never knew that you will get that stamp or not, so you had to perform a certain activity to get that stamp. To get the rare stamp, what they did was they increased the chances for a particular activity. Let's say even Google Pay does that. Do a recharge right now and you could get Rangoli stamp. That they did during the last leg of the campaign, and they extended the campaign because it went viral. Similar to that, these guys also, Turtlemint also followed that trick from Google Pay's playbook. That actually that eventually all of that eventually, wherein buying the mutual fund or buying the policy was not even an activity that was defined in the list of the campaign activities. But even then, that transaction increased by 15%. Overall volume of the transaction increased by 15%. That's the a case study. That's how and they keep running campaigns during IPL and Diwali. That's the whole point of gamification out here, is to actually tap into users' intrinsic motivation, understand what they want to achieve. As an insurance agent, I would like to get better at selling insurance.